Hello dear friends, I welcome you all on this e-learning platform of KRT Arts, BH Commerce and AM Science College, popularly known as KTHM College Nasik. I'm Kanchan Bagul, working as an assistant professor in the Department of English. In today's video session, we are going to learn Indian Literature in English Translation, course paper 3.4. We are going to deal with unit number 3, novel, and in that we are going to discuss the famous novel written by an Oriya writer Gopinath Mohanty, Paraja. This is part 2, second session based on this novel. Before we start today's video session, I would like to explain or I would like to recapitulate what we have learned in previous lecture. So in previous video session, we have discussed the biographical sketch of the author, important literary work written by Gopinath Mohanty. After that, we tried to understand Paraja tribe by talking about the history of Paraja and the origin of the word Paraja along with their language. Then we talked some introductory information about the novel. This is what second session based on novel Paraja, and in that we are going to learn something more about Oriya literature, and we are going to discuss summary of the novel Paraja. The paper of translation is prescribed in the syllabus of MA Part 2 deliberately to let the student know the variety of literature available in many languages in India. India has great heritage of many languages, but majority of literary work cannot be studied or cannot be understood by the student due to lack of translation, and therefore the great work written in regional languages and get translated in English is prescribed in this syllabus. To understand Gopinath Mohanty and his importance, we have to understand some other literary writers in Oriya or Odia language. So let's start learning about what is there in Oriya language and what kind of literature is there in Oriya language. Specifically Oriya novels. The Oriya novel has been under the influence of Western literature, especially British literature, due to the colonization, along with some major dominant languages like Bengali and other languages also influenced Oriya literature. The Oriya language and the state of Oriya had been denied independence till 1936, and gradually the landmark in Oriya history came ahead and literature started gaining importance, whereas Oriya language has great tradition of quality literature. Many attempts were made in writing Oriya by many authors. Especially we are going to talk about the first important author in Oriya language was Ramashankar Rai. The another prominent name was Umesh Sarkar. Those who wrote in Oriya language in late 19th century, which can be called as the rise of Oriya novel. Another prominent name in Oriya literature is Fakir Mohan Senapati. He was born in 1843 and died in 1918. His famous novel Chanana Atha Guntha, which was published in 1897, The publication of this novel can be considered as the rise of Oriya novel. After Fakir Mohan Senapati, there was no significant input by any other writer. The first Oriya novel on tribals was written by Gopal Ballav Das. The novel was published in 1908 and it was written in 1898. The title of the novel is Bhima Bhuyan, and the novel was based on the life of a tribal hero, Bhima, belonging to Bhuyan tribe of Kanchan district in Orissa. After Gopal Ballav Das, the another prominent name is Kalindi Charan Panigrahi. In 1931, a novel was published by him, that is Matina Manisha, and it gained popularity as it was based on Gandhian principles and ideals. Pratibha Ray's Adibhumi is about Bonda tribes struggling for survival in free India. Thereafter, there was a rise in the field of Oriya novel. Gopinath Mohanty emerged as the most successful writer. Gopinath Mohanty emerged as the most successful writer. His novels focused on social issues, the life and the cultural practices of the tribes, the pain, the suffering, the anguish, and the agony of the protagonists, who are either from poor or middle economic strata of society. His most popular novels are Paraja and Amruta Santan. After learning about Oriya literature, let's come to the novel that we are going to discuss, Paraja. We are going to discuss outline story of Paraja. The novel Paraja deals with the life of Paraja tribe. And the novel is situated in Koraput district of Orissa. The protagonist of the novel is Sukrujani. He is a widower who has two sons, Mandiya and Tikra, along with two daughters, Jili and Billy. Life is not a bed of roses for this simple man, as he has to work hard to make both ends meet. Despite of all these hardship, he is happy. But his happiness is short-lived and a train of misfortune befalls him and his family. As he belongs to a marginalized group, his daughter Jili was being given some kinds of advances by a forest guard, and she refuses that advances. Due to that, the forest guards become hostile and decides to take revenge. Due to his hostility, Sukrujani couldn't earn his living properly, and therefore Sukrujani is compelled to take a loan, and by taking loan he becomes a goti. Goti is a word which is used in regional language which means a bounded labor. As he has been implicated for illegal felling of trees. Gradually the moneylender or the sahukar grabs his land, and not only Sukrujani but his both sons and both daughters are forced to work as goatees for Sahukar, means the moneylender. In this way, the landowner becomes the bounded labor, not only Sukrujani but the complete family. There was continuous harassment by the Sahukar or the moneylender. Sukrujani and his sons' patience gives way to anger and pent-up feeling when they are duped in court. In court, first time the subaltern voice that has not been heard before anywhere is raised, only through the murderous act committed by the elder son, the one who murders Sahukar, the main source of the trouble according to the son. And after the incident, they go to the police station and they surrender themselves. In this way, this is an endless tale of woes and suffering. Sukrujani is just a representative of such kind of all the people, those who are suffering there, just because they are born in that tribe. Not only Sukrujani but many others are forced to resort to violence due to their abject poverty, their loneliness and their alienation, the loss of their lands and the degradation of human relationship. It is a realistic story where protagonist Sukrujani lives in a domain of death in life realities, and it becomes evident from the story that in presence of hunger and poverty, notions of crime, sin and morality are denounced. Through Paraja, we can understand that what kind of life downtrodden, subalterns or tribals are living, along with the exploitation of all the tribals by so-called civilized world. So in this way, I'm going to end this video session on this note. In next session, we are going to learn chapter-wise summary of Paraja. Along with, we are going to learn the characters' mind map. Till then, my dear students, take care of yourself. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you so much for your patient listening.